here within time constraints. It's like doing a juggling act with all the different things going on in the Gau. We still have the Jugend Einzelplatte finishing up upstairs, and we have other workshops currently. The goal today is for those of you who was here yesterday. Who was here? All right, awesome. So our review. Who is brand new? Newbies. Okay, newbies.
Oh, put your hand down.
Good. All right, newbies. All right, yesterday what we did was we worked on part one. We did some Wirtshauslieder, which are always fun to sing. I'm still waiting to hear you singing those at your tables. I guess you have to have a few schnapps to start singing them, or some beer. According to Nancy, I was singing them last night. I don't remember on the table. But, in any case, this is part two of the workshop. At the end of yesterday's workshop, what we did is we started the Stanzel for the Ausseer Steirischer. And that is what we're going to do today, is work on part two and part three of the Ausseer Steirischer. Okay? Feel free to come and go as you please. I have a feeling, knowing how Gaufests run, that we'll have plenty of people dropping in, going here, going there. That's totally fine. I give you your cheat sheet here. Yes, this was in the packet yesterday. Okay? I gave it to you in green so that you would know that see it, because you're going to need this later on. Okay? And we first start by introducing our wonderful people here. We have Mark Moischke from Washingtonia. And myself and Adam Levine from Washingtonia. We will be your host for the next Gaufest in 2019. If I can find time between the sound checks and the dance floors and all of that stuff, we will try to do that. We might be looking for other people to help out with workshops. We'll be having our hands full, I'm sure, with the Gaufest. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my good friend here, Erech Ray from St. Paul, Edelweiss. I kind of took the lead on the workshop, and today I'll start a little bit, and then we're going to work into what we're doing here. The Ausseer Steirischer, we went through several different types of dances. This is from the Salzkammergut, so if you are stuck in your Oberbayerische tradition, this is not as much Oberbayern as it is Salzkammergut. They're very, very particular about that region. A lot of the Austrian regions are, okay? Some of what you're going to see today may carry over a little bit from the Salzkammergut region, maybe a little bit into Oberösterreich, a little bit. But even then, that starts to turn into the Viertellandler, and then it changes there too, okay? Even the Pacha will start to change, and that's a whole different area because they start to play with the music much differently. The Salzkammergut would be Bad Aussee, Strobel, Abersee. If you haven't been there, it is a beautiful honeymoon spot. Okay, it is absolutely gorgeous. Yes, you're from there?
No, is that near Bad Ischl?
Bad Ischl, yep. But even Bad Ischl and Bad Geusen, they have two different styles of patching, of clapping. All right, and so let's start this dance. The Ausseer Steirischer we chose because we figured it's the easiest one you can probably take back to your clubs. We're hoping, okay? And a lot of this is going to be filmed and put on the Gau library. All right. And with the Pachin here, do we have other people from the Edelweiss? Okay. Just before we begin, one of the things that we like to do is I'd like to take 1 minute, because last time when we did this Pachin workshop, there was a man who was very instrumental in getting us to here, and that's Jeff Jameson. I don't know if anybody knows Jeff. You know Jeff? Jeff was at the Gaufest and helped us do this workshop last time and helped lay the Grundsteine for it. And after helping us, he was the one you might remember doing "Hui" last time. Well, unfortunately, as life has it, after he returned from the Gaufest, then he died. So I'd like to take a moment of silence just to recognize him, because he was here helping us make this possible last year for Jeff. Jeff, we feel your spirit everywhere. This workshop today is dedicated to you, my friend. All right, let's begin. Okay, good. Let's review the Gstanzel from yesterday. For those of you that don't know, the Gstanzel, we're going to have Mikey, and where's your box? Your box. I'm going to do, for those of you that don't know, these boxes are they're not like the accordions. You get maximum, if you're lucky, you get 4 different keys. They try to make them with 5 rows now. They're not as easy for us to play, I don't think. I find 5 rows very difficult. Do you like, I find them too big. So,
But you're old.
What's this one? Holy mackerel! This is fun. See, we button box people have fun together. All right. Let's review the text very quickly. This is just a brief review, and then we'll sing it here. All right. Want to go through it word by word? Yeah. Okay, for anybody who wasn't here, repeat after me here. Here we go. These are the Gstanzel. They're going to come in the middle of the dance. Together. Ausseer Steirischer.
Ausseer Steirischer.
Das sage ich allemal.
Das sage ich allemal.
Now, if you really want to be from Salzkammergut, you change the Tal to Toy. Ausseer Steirischer, das sage ich allemal. That would be real Salzkammergut, okay? The Hal is going to go to the Oi. Sanschöne Menschen drei.
Sanschöne Menschen drei.
Da möchte ich sein.
Da möchte ich sein.
Love to be in the Ausseer, a happy valley with happy girls. Aufgeschaut, aufgeschaut.
Aufgeschaut, aufgeschaut.
Auf wie aufs Bett.
Auf wie aufs Bett.
Oh, aufgetraut, aufgetraut.
Oh, aufgetraut, aufgetraut.
Hot sie mir nicht.
Hot sie mir nicht.
I look up at her bedroom window, but trusting aufgetraut, to trust myself, to trust going up there, she doesn't trust me. And yesterday we had talked about they play with these. He might say, I don't trust myself. He could easily change that Obiminet as opposed to Otziminet. Schmeiß my Hutenboch.
Schmeiß mein Hutenboch.
Und spring ihm selber noch.
Und spring ihm selber noch.
Weil mir mein heute Schutz.
Weil mir mein heute Schutz.
Animamo. Okay, translation roughly is I throw my hat into the stream and I jump in after it. Seems like a silly way to, drown your sorrows. Much means thanks to same goal. Because my dear old sweetheart doesn't like me anymore. And actually, there's a second part to this where they put their hats back on. But that's tends to be reserved for St. Wolfgang the Strobellandler. And if you've ever seen the video clips of that, that's what they'll do. And they'll say, mein Hut ist wieder aussie. Jetzt ist mein Haupt bedeckt. Dann tue ich Schnackler, wird mein Schatz geweckt. And then so he's all happy again. Next girl, with a Schnackel. A lot of people don't know that. Schnackel is actually this. Okay, and the Schnackel Walzer actually also has to do with some of that original Schnackel. And we somehow modified it to this. Okay, but this is what the Schnackel actually is. It's still, and that's what they still see in Chiemgau, right?
Yep.
That's the original, right? So that's when somebody says a Schnackler to her, that's basically like a firecracker. I want to get your attention, okay? Then you're going to see the Tanzfiguren. Oh yeah. Let's put this out. You got that? Okay. Then Tanzfiguren. Mein Vater hat Haus verkauft.
Mein Vater hat Haus
Und die
verkauft.
Uhr ab. Jetzt geht's zur Gospelkehr.
Jetzt geht's.
Hallelujah.
Halleluja.
Good. Okay, that's pretty simple. My father sells the farm. Erech has some extra handouts for people coming in, and there will be people wandering in as the other workshops start to end. Hallelujah. Okay, so I'm now going to the goats. If you need, you can interpret that any way you want. As I said yesterday, a lot of these things have double meanings. The Germans, the Bavarians, especially, and the Austrians all love double meanings. Basically, because back then you couldn't say what we say now. Some of the things I say to Nancy now, you could have never said even 50 years ago, right, Nancy?
Right.
Couldn't get away with it. Now, they just they talk very open. But back then, it was all double meaning. A frische Maß Bier. Mark, where is it?
Frische Maß Bier.
Mitten voll. Am meisten.
Leider nicht, du weißt.
Da ist er leider nicht weiß. Gehen wir nicht rum? Bis sie uns ausschmeißen. Aussie, Alfie, you're going to hear that's very Austrian. Somewhat Bavarian, but it's very, very Austrian. Okay, and the Austrians actually, believe it or not, in many ways are even prouder of their dialect than even the Bavarians. You'll hear the Austrians, it's a shock for me to go into an Austrian high school and then go into a Bavarian high school and they'll still try their best to speak standard German. Go into an Austrian high school, all bets are off. Especially in Canton, everything's off, okay? All right. Lustig und kreuzfidel. Morgen gehen wir nicht so schnell. Morgen gehen wir gar nicht in der Früh. Morgen gehen wir gar nicht in der Früh. Oder gar nicht. And you might see me stumble over a word or two. That's because they change the words. They always, think about how much beer they've had. Okay, they change the words. So don't go into it thinking every word has to be exactly the same. I pointed out yesterday, I love the word kreuzfidel, with fidelity, because that's really what you're talking about here. These guys are bonded. They're bonded, they are staying with their club, and they're staying with their guys, and they are so into that, they're into the regional bonding as well. They're very proud to be from Strobel. You might think it's just a small little village, but they are proud to be Strobel. Okay, and every little village is so proud about where they come from. Tanzfiguren. And again, you'll see that common theme of beer, you'll see that common theme of the farm, you'll see the common theme of, hey, we're not going home until you kick us out. Kind of like a Gaufest, right? Right? Okay. The weitere Stanze, Landerisch, Pinskerisch. Pinskau, right? If you haven't been there, go. Gorgeous. Heutz im Beutz finster ist. Wann's da mal finster war, lass uns nicht da. Landerisch is typical land dancing, the Lander, Pinskauerisch. Heutzen means snuggling up. Okay, you can look at it even further and say kind of like doing a little kind of close hanky-panky necking if you would Hals, right? When it's dark, when it gets dark, we'll kind of hide so nobody sees us in the dark. And if you want a PG version for your club, stick with snuggle. But let's be honest, it comes Hals, throat, your necking. All right. Nudelinnerei, heit muss es lustig sein. Nudelinnerei, heit muss es lustig sein. Nudelinnerei, lustig muss sein. Nudelinnerei, lustig muss sein. Yeah, okay, again, that is, there's no PG version of that. So basically, flip the noodle in and have fun today. How they came up with that one, I do not know. But it was one of the most common stanza that I found under young boys, men singing it to their girls, okay? You may avoid those if you would like to stick with the other ones. All right. We're going to sing, and then we're going to move to the Bachin. And we've already gotten a nice crowd again. As things empty out, and Erech's going to play that. We got it? And I'm going to sing with you. And we're just going to sing straight through. All right? Sing straight through. Hey! Gaufest, That's what's the only thing that's going to happen when you sing. So we made this extra easy for you. Okay? Somebody said, you scared everybody with saying Pachin's hard. Pachin's not. Pachin can be hard, but the version we're doing to you is very accessible. And what I'm doing is just walking around, because that's what they're going to see. That's all they're going to do. And if you see some of the videos, they'll be just like this, and the girls will be just kind of on the side. Next to them, correct? Yeah. All right. Let's do the next stanza there, and let's go through the next one, just to have it down, and then we're going to go right into the pacha. All right? Go ahead, give us an intro. I know I have some people in the audience that were here with me a couple of years ago with Erech and me, and I also have some other people that have been to the South Kamabu. Let's now, the one thing you know, before we move to the pacha, one thing you notice, you guys were right on that melody, right? It's my fault, what did you notice that I did? Did you catch it? Did anybody catch it? It's not easy. I'm really going up there. That's very typical of the South Kamabu. Have you listened to some of the tapes? There's one or two guys that will really try to get it up in the air with their voices, okay? And that's on purpose. If that's too high for you, that's okay. Leave that to us, but we're used to that, right?
And most people, within the balance of the dance, when people are singing, most men are singing the second part.
Yeah.
They're singing a third under that highest part, and it's one or two men that will grab the high notes. And so the balance, actually, you'll hear is that low harmony.
Exactly, and it's beautiful. Again, we said this before, but Austria is known, they have their Schuhplatte, but they're also known for their singing and their Pachin blended into the Schuhplatte, and that's what's, and into the Landla and the figure dances. That's what's so cool. And they really put a value on singing. All right, let's move to the pacha. We, for the sake of this workshop, are going to clear all of the notions women will be allowed to. Yes. Typically, we have to say, I have never seen, I'm just saying, I've never seen women clap in a pacha, ever. I'm not saying I've also never seen a woman do a wig, but I'm just saying what I've seen. Doesn't mean that Austria isn't open to it. I have seen women sing along if it's in a Gasthaus, in a Verein, right? I've seen that. As when they go out to perform, I've never seen women patch. Have you? No. But for the sake of today, hello, Gal from North America. We are going to let everybody patch. Okay? Fair enough? All right, good. Erech, take us over and take us on how to do the patchen, the Tsui and the four patchen.
All right. First thing, when you're clapping, it's not just open fingers. You like Schuhplatten, you want closed fingers, no air in between, because that's where your sound is going to come from. So, what you want to try to do is get this hand to contact your left hand at this point. There's a second type that we're going to do at the end of the dance, and it's called absence pasha, and it's the muted. And what you do for that, kind of hook your fingers over. Now you're going first. You hear the difference, right?
We didn't do that last time, but that's an extremely important part of this, is actually doing it. What do we say, what do they call it in Austrian?
So is it, was it?
Holen. Hol. Was sagen Sie für Hol? Dunkel Patsche und a helle Patsche, right? I think dunkel and hell, I think they use. Hollow, right.
So now what we have, so within this pattern, what we're going to have is just Vor Pasha and Sui Pasha. We're going to keep it pretty basic for today. There are also what's called sextere and multiple third parts that will have, you could have something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And they may even cut out a measure here or there, so it's not even symmetrical within the 8 measures that you're performing. For our purposes today, we're just going to do the on beats and the off beats. So your Vor Pasha is going to be on 1, 2, and 3. So we have each measures in 3, 4. We have 8 of those measures. So you have Vor Pasha is going to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Simple enough. So let's all do that. That's the first part. Sui Pasha is going to have the ands. So instead of 1, 2, 3, and. So slowly, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. You're going to be the and of the 4. So let's all do, I'll count it. Let's all do the ands together. This is the Sui Pasha. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. So what we should try to do, just to try and get this concept going, let's divide the room. You guys are going to have the Vor Pasha, the down beats. You guys are going to have the ands. Let's just try that. Alright, I'll give 2 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Just so people know what's happening if they have.
So what's going to happen here is we broke it down into a Vor Pasha and a Sui Pasha. And the first thing is the hollow one. That's actually only going to happen really once when it's called upon to do so. And they used to say, they have different ways of calling it out, but it's usually something like, "Hoi!" That's it. It's pretty, I know, very farm-like. "Hoi!" And then that means you're going to go from this, but it's a very interesting thing. It goes from Did you hear that? I'm trying. It's hard when you're doing it one person. But you hear me go from a light, I'm moving my hand in, and then I've got it in there. Then I'm going to move it there, and I'm moving it back out. I'm doing that just so you see how it's going to sound. By the way, one thing, do not make sure you do, when you go home, the one thing about the pacha, do not let somebody go in there and say, I know the pacha. That's not what it is. We see it in every club. That's not what the pacha is. It's very orchestrated, okay? So that's the first thing. Now what Erech was referring to is that basically you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're looking at 3. And that's what's going to come in the middle of it. But the dritesh is one of the ones that's going to go, like, I'm going to probably do this. I might do hits on 2, 5, 6. We're only going to ask a couple of people to do that, Philip. Okay? And they know who they are because they help us out. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And I can't listen to anything else. I just have to focus on 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6. I'm going to go on my phone, 5, 6. Because if I listen to you, I'll get messed up. Okay? Now, what makes it even more interesting is that somebody else will be doing 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. And then someone else will just sit there and say, I'm just going to take the lazy way out and do this. So if you have somebody here who just barely be able to do that, that's fine. Then you also have the ones that are really masterful that go in there and say, okay, I'm going to play with this, and when I'm going to listen to the music and see where they need it, I'm going to throw it in. They do that too. And as Zep knows, it's very orchestrated. There are like 5 or 6 moving parts in a real pacha, right? Ja, das Salzkammergut, die haben euch das beigebracht. 5 oder 6 verschiedene Patschen. Okay.
And the key to understanding this is that they're always counting, they're always subdividing that measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. It's just 1, 2. It's always the 8th note. So it's to draw a parallel to what we all do in Schulklappen. It's like a Sechserschlag. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. It's that same subdivision constantly happening, and that's why you can have 3 different third parts that are offset from each other, all the meanwhile having the basic four and sui puncture that we just did, the downbeats and the offbeats. So
let's get the four and sui down.
Let's try to do it in, maybe, do you want to try to do it in context and alternate?
With the music, and that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. All right, good. You want to play, or do you want me to play? Doesn't matter.
You play.
I'll play. Okay. Go. All right. Let's see if we can put this together. Yes, you're always playing, buddy. Always playing, except for tonight. I'm going to make you dance. He's my little junior. It's funny because I remember trying to help him out with the button box, like when I joined years ago. Now he kicks my butt on the button box. I can't even come close to him. These guys are the future. Young travelers like these, just give them hats off because they'll be here long after I'm gone, that's for sure. All right, good. Awesome. Let's see, do the Fawn Sui again, without the music first.
Yeah, let's do that a couple more times. For the purpose of this, let's keep it this side of the room for this side of the room Sui. We can switch it later, maybe, if people want to get a feel for the other part.
Philip, you go where you want.
Yeah.
Okay, you do what you want. You do your own thing, buddy.
I'm going to do the ands with these guys.
Okay. So you want me to do the downbeats?
Well, we have 2 for nothing. Let's do this. Let's do. Do you want to do the call in the middle of it, and then we can get a feel for the
Sure.
Okay.
Give us our basic pacha music. You can give us an intro, sure. It's hard if you don't sing, right? Okay. Okay, now what you're going to see, 1, you're going to have the fall pachas, the lead pacha, and a couple of the other really sharp ones lead you at the pickup. Did you hear the pickup? But play the last ending of the verse. Just listen. See, I gave you the pickup, right? I did it. And that's what might have thrown you guys. But you're going to give you a pickup first, which means wake up now, basically. Okay? So you're going to see that. He was doing the Sui Pacha. Okay? And that worked pretty well. Let's try that, and then we'll pretend that there's a singing piece. Let's try it. You want to try it again, and then you go to a full Pacha on this yet? You ready?
Yeah. So you want to yell? Are you?
I'll yell it. I'll call it. You keep playing the Pacha melody. Okay, give us the ending of that singing verse. Wait for me. Good. And the very important part is da 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 da. We all end on that together. And so we got that down. Let's now put.
And that was nice because everyone heard that kind of change, that sonic change, as we came back into the normal.
But it's pretty impressive when you get a whole group doing it, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I never knew that it was that intricate. They really specialize in that, and it sounds really cool. You know, it's really neat. All right, you want to try with
the verses.
The verses? You play.
I'll lead the low. You do the high.
I got the high.
I'll sing the low.
Great.
And we'll do just 3 verses. All right. All right, go ahead.
So the way I'll just explain so people have the context. What will happen is it's always going to be in groups of 3 verses, except for the end, when we have those 2 at the end. But it's going to first be singing, 8 measures of singing, 8 measures of pacha, 8 measures of singing, 8 measures of pacha, 8 measures of singing, 8 measures of pacha, dance figures again. So generally, it's going to alternate between verse and pacha.
Okay. Yep. Give me the intro and then right to the singing and then translate. Okay. For the, I'll tell you. Okay. You'll hear when I call the boy who means the one. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Give us the end of the. Give us the intro. Okay, and do I have a couple of, let's see, Philip? I'm trying to see if we have any other really good, there are sheets there, cheat sheets are right there.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge, there, cheat sheets. Let me look around. And Philip, let's try to be a little creative here. Erech could probably do it. I'm imagining anybody else, if there are a couple of people that are really, really good musicians, experiment with
Yeah, I think that's
that.
a good word.
Experiment with the 2, 5, 6, or 1, 3, 4. And again, what he said, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. Or 5, 6. That could be a couple of you. It only can be like 2 or 3. It doesn't have to be many. 1, 2, 4. 1, 3, 4. So maybe let's pick a couple of people to do that. To experiment with either one of those.
Yeah, I think 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, 6.
So 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, 6. If we give you a thumbs up, that means it's play with it.
And you want to do one?
Yeah, okay, Ethan, you can play with it. Ethan, that Philip has been trained on it. He's got it down pretty well. Erech, you're pretty good at the music as well. We need one more, maybe?
Yeah, so 1, 3, 4. Yeah.
1, 3, 4. Philip, you want the 2, 5, 6?
Sure.
2, 5, 6, okay. Matt, do you want to try one?
2, 5, 6 was a little different. You were doing 2, 3, 4, I think.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 2, 4, 5.
They're going to vary. They're going to vary. Yes, that's understandable. You're going to see variances in that. Okay. They're very, very hard to do. So give it a shot. Okay. And sometimes you will. It does get confusing because there are so many different things going on. Tony, you want to give it a shot? Okay. And let's see. Anybody else? Are we good? Chris, you want to give something? Or Chris is going to give it a shot with Karsten? Okay. All right, good. Okay, good.